Okay, so we're actually going to talk about the forgiveness game, is what we're actually going to talk about with this little situation here. And I'm like, come on through, Cookie. I'm going up on my soapbox. That's basically it. Let's talk about drag and all its forms. What, Cookie? Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is my review for Real Housewives of Potomac. This is season 4, episode 4. As I said, we're going to speak real candidly in this review about the forgiveness game. Um, it's you know what, the stuff that Giselle did last year. It was a lot. It was a lot. There's no secret that she wasn't a good friend to Karen. She was pretty nasty at some points when it actually came to Karen. She really was. Now, the thing with that is either you're in or you're out. Either you're in or you're out. And I'm just going to say that, and then I'm going to go ahead and start this review, okay? So, we're going to talk about it. Okay, so first things first. That last episode, we ended on a real high note with Michael saying that he was ready to suck somebody off. And we all know that it's Juan that he's talking about sucking off. He ready to take one for the team, and he ready to give a little service. And they start showing these clips of the different people who actually stayed. We found out that they actually had stayed behind. There were Robin, um, Robin and Juan. No, I'm sorry, Robin. Juan wasn't there. Robin, Candace and her husband Chris, and there was Michael and Ashley. They were the midnight crowd. The after 3 a.m. when everybody shut down and left the party, they were there still getting drunk and having a good time. Well, the next day they showed clips of like all these different people. Okay, so everything was everything. It went on. Michael said what he said. Michael doesn't want to remember what he said, though I believe Michael knows what the hell he said because he knows how he feels about Mr. Juan, okay? Michael wants to forget what he said. He doesn't want to remember. Robin wants to forget what she heard, but we all know you can't unhear what you heard. Candace wishes that she could forget because she don't want to be caught in the middle, okay? We don't know Chris at all, but Ashley is just looking simple at this point because she remembers, but she just looking simple. So I said, okay. And then they dropped it. They just dropped it and we just moved on to something else. I said, really? Really, Bravo? So surely it's going to come back up again, you all. And when it does, I will be waiting at about this whole little Mr. Juan situation. Hey, Mr. Juan, you are the hot topic this season. Hey, you look good. It is what it is, honey. Michael want to put a lip lock on you. Anyway, okay, so let's just move on. We're going to play the game, but I'll be waiting for that to show back up. Giselle sitting with her girls, and I just kind of look. I'm like, girl, so these are your best friends, honey. All right, whatever. They talked about some of the Sherman stuff. I'm sick of the Sherman stuff, so whatever. She tells the girls she's going to New Orleans. She actually has pictures, and my goodness, her oldest daughter looks exactly like her father. God, this showed a picture of him as a kid, and yeah, a picture of her dad, which is the kid's grandfather. We call him Pops, and that oldest daughter looks exactly like this man, just minus the ears. I said, "Oh my gosh." But yeah, cute. I said, check that out. And then she started talking about her lineage, and I looked at now Giselle don't have those looks, but I looked at her daddy and I said, oh, that's straight up Creole, honey. Straight up Creole. It's his look, say New Orleans all over him, honey. And you know something about that New Orleans boy look. I likes it, honey. I don't know what that's all about, honey. But I tell y'all all the time, honey. August Alsina and Odell Beckham. I think them two are about the cutest little things ever. And they New Orleans, honey. Anyway, anyway, but yeah, so Giselle's dad, real cute. Honey. Well, he was when he was little. He real cute. And they show pictures of him like growing up to different things. He cute. He got that whole little Creole look going on. And she showed like pictures when she was younger. She did. She had the look. Now I don't know. I don't see that with her. Like I don't. I'm like whatever else you got going on that you mixed up with is all mixed up in there, and you done fell on the side of that. I don't see the Creole stuff, but okay, it's cool. Whatever. Anyway, so they got that whole thing going on. She's going to New Orleans. She didn't invite everybody. She called Karen because Karen wasn't at the party. With, wasn't. She didn't get the chance to invite Karen at the party, so she called her. She invited her. Karen accepted. Then we see Candace and Karen going to Karen's dentist appointment, and Karen, it was slipped in there. Karen was already. She was making excuses for what bad behavior is to come, is what how I took it. And that's literally I wrote it down on my notes when it happened. So nothing had even happened. They hadn't even left for New Orleans. And I wrote, she's making excuses for bad behavior to come. And she's leaning on this, I'm grieving, I'm grieving, I'm grieving. Well, let me tell you, I'm not going to be rude or mean when it comes to grieving and the grieving process. Grieving process is what it is. Um, but I think you're using it. You're using it as a crutch to show your ass. And you were planning on showing your ass before you ever left Maryland. So I was like, yeah, okay. Whatever. I got my good eye on your ass, Karen. Anyhow, moving on. Then we see Candace rather talking to her mother. I was drained immediately. When I looked on the FaceTime or the Skype or whatever they were on the computer, as soon as I seen Dorothy's ass, I just got drained. And I said, what the fuck is Dorothy doing this time? Candace says she told to her mother, she's telling her, I want to talk to you about setting some boundaries now that I'm married. We just set some boundaries. And the first thing she started with, she said, I want you to stop threatening me when you are mad at me. Now, I don't think that's too much to ask. I don't. I think their situation is ridiculous. And as she went into more of it, it just showed how ridiculous it was. But for her to ask her to not ridicule me about the things that you do for me and to not threaten to sell. Every time she gets upset with her, she threatens to sell the condo that she lives in. That ain't right. Now, no, it ain't right for them to be living off of Dorothy and all of that and whatever, but this is what you set up, Dorothy. And are they really living off of Dorothy? Now, let's really break it down. Listen to what's actually really being said. When Candace said, Chris pays part of the mortgage, Candace pays part of the mortgage, and Dorothy pays part of the mortgage. So I guess it's all broken up in thirds. is kind of what I got. Or but she must have just gave them a portion. I don't know. I don't know what the actual proportions are, but at any rate, it's a separate thing. It's Chris has to pay something, Candace has to pay something, and then Dorothy pays the rest. But the condo belongs to Dorothy. So in essence, aren't they tenants? Aren't they tenants? And she is basically the landlord? Isn't it like, yeah, she's the landlord and they're the tenants and they pay rent. I'm just asking. Y'all put it in the comments and tell me what you think. But if you tell me there's one mortgage and three people paying and only one name on the deed, landlord, tenants, rental property. I've been around a long time. That's what I see. I don't know what else you would call it. I don't know what else you would call it, but it to literally, and then you get mad and you threaten to sell it because again, yeah, where could they actually stay? They couldn't stay in a place of that caliber for what they're paying, but that's not the point. That's not the point. This is what you set up. You set it up and you want to hold it over their head because you're that type of a controlling bitch. Is why you doing it. That's why you're doing that. You're doing it because you can. And Candace, I can only feel but so bad for you when she does these things to you because you won't. You're talking about how you and Chris are stacking your money. Okay. Then that comes along with the territory. If you want to stack your money, then you must kiss my ass. That's who your mother is. It is what it is. See me, I'm not cut from that type of cloth. I can't work that way. I can't. And I've said that before. I would tell her, sell this motherfucker and fuck you. See, these are things that would never happen to me in this way because I just I know my mother. My mother would never do that though. Like my mother would never. My mother would try to control me because my mother's very controlling. So she would definitely try to control the scene. She would do that. I ain't gonna sit and tell y'all no lie. My mother is a controlling ass somebody. So she would definitely be trying to control. First of all, from the door, there would be no Chris. Okay? If I was in a property and my mother owned the property, I'm just telling you flat out, there would be no Chris. Chris would have no third. He would not be living in my mother's property with me. And that wouldn't happen because she is controlling and she ain't even playing that game. So that wouldn't happen. Okay. So we would never have these issues. But to be so mean spirited as to go and say, you're going to sell the property from up underneath me because you can't get your way about something that's going on. My mother would never be that mean. That's just vicious. That is vicious and that is just mean. My mother wouldn't do that. That's out of the realm of control. That is just fucking bitchy and mean and using your power as a whip to keep her in line. That is horrible. But Candace, again, I can't feel sorry for you until you get the fuck up and give Dorothy your ass to kiss. Until you do that, whatever she dish out, it just is what it is. But I sat there and I thought it was funny when Dorothy got to tell her, you're ungrateful. And this, that thing, and the other. I said, oh, she working it. Honey, Candace gave her laptop closed, honey. I said, girl, she cyber hung up on you, bitch. hung right the fuck up on camera. I said, oh, we wouldn't have that go on either. Do you know what would happen if I cyber hung up on my mother during production? It would be in the cameraman's best interest to keep filming. My mother would come to my house and be windmilling her ass off. She would be pissed. You hear me? We both got that in common. That's one of them little things, them little isms that my mother has passed on to me uh, through heredity. I got a thing about a motherfucker hanging up on me. Oh, you hang up on me, you bitch. You, I can't take it. Hang up. Oh, there's a couple people in the world walking around who have actually hung up on me before. Ask them when's the last time they talked to me. Moving on, I don't play that motherfucking hanging up shit. You hang up, that's it. That's a death warrant because you're dead on the other end of the line, fucking hanging up on me. Who does that? I don't play that, and my mother don't play it either. So yeah, my mother would be in this, like a windmilling. It would definitely be child a Mona Scott production. Like keep the camera rolling. The mother's tearing ass up in here. That's just the way she would be. She would go the fuck off. That's just her. But I got so tickled when she cyber hung up on Dorothy's ass. I said, "Oh, well, she got you, bitch. She got you." Round one, Candace, honey. I cracked up. I said, they are draining. They drain my absolute substance. Her and her mother, I just cannot, honey. Ooh, Candace and Dorothy, fucking mess. Moving on, let's go over to Robin and Juan's house. This is the stupidest shit ever. I just look at them and I just start laughing. I'm like, child, y'all on the 11th fair, okay. So Juan undoubtedly got jealous of something that Robin did at the party, and he checked her ass. He chin checked her ass, and she's just so stupid. She just sit up there, give it. Oh yeah, he was mad at me, and yeah, we stayed up late, and I made up for it. I said, so you were at the party and you did something. I guess she never said what it was she did. Probably stayed out too late and got too drunk. Because he wasn't even there. So I don't know. She didn't go into it. Whatever it was, he wasn't happy. 9 times out of 10, she stayed out too late and he was stuck dealing with them damn kids. And she wasn't home when she said she was going to be home. So she had to get chin checked. And she stayed up and did what it was that Michael wanted to do. And she was so happy about it. Sit down, Robin, bitch. Anyway, and in New Orleans, there was a New Orleans warning given to her about her behavior and how she would behave. I said, y'all dating? Y'all exclusive? Y'all married? What y'all got going on? He telling you how to conduct your fucking self. He been conducting himself however he wanted to conduct himself since we met y'all. But okay, girl, whatever. Go on, whatever. Moving on. Giselle and Karen. Here we go about this friendship, this bullshit. Okay, so Giselle's down at the convention. Ubiquitous is the convention. It's like a female business situation, and there's like vendors and all of this. And Karen came down to support Giselle and her makeup line. And in the midst of things, Giselle used her connections and her networking to introduce Karen to the woman who actually helped her get her deal at Target. Karen, her behavior, her body language bothered me. Her body language bothered me because Karen was saying, "This is so and so and so." And yes, she was very instrumental in getting me my deal with Target. She did everything with ease. She was really good to me. And that was it. Karen literally like jumped on this woman and, oh yes, this, that thing, and the other, and blah, 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 blah. And Giselle was trying to, Giselle couldn't even finish like introducing. She was like, yeah, she says Karen actually has a fragrance that she's launching called Adam, and you know this, that, and the other. And she said, "Oh, that's great." And Karen's like, "Oh, yes, 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 yes." And she literally pushed Giselle to the side. Did y'all see that? Like she literally pushed her out of the space to where her and the woman are here, and Giselle's kind of standing off to the side. And then she began to spew all of her stuff. And lady asked her a couple questions. And these were questions that Giselle, as soon as it happened, I was like, "It's going to be a problem." They were questions that Giselle was actually asking her, not being totally nosy, but just saying, "Did you do this? Did you do that? What's going on? What's the vision for the product?" And you wouldn't answer them. You wouldn't answer them. And then you later on said basically you felt as though Giselle didn't deserve those answers. Well, what was she going to do with those answers? Other than what she's actually doing right now, which was introducing you to somebody in her network to be able to help you. But now you're kind of like shading her and pushing her out of the way. And the body language was just ugly. It was just it just seemed very shady to me. And I was like, wow, I know how it made me feel. I didn't know how Giselle felt till I looked and I seen Giselle's face. And in her face, you could tell she felt some kind of way. you know and I mean, yes, introducing her was one thing, and then you just kind of leave it alone, but there was just a shade about it, like at that point, like, "Oh, okay, girl, you introduced us, go the fuck on away from here, girl. Your purpose has been served, go away." That's what it gave that's what it gave and that was definitely Karen's attitude toward it. And I was just like, wow. And Giselle felt some kind of way. She went on, and that was it. She did what she had to do, and that was over with that. So let's go over. They did a quick flash of Monique. I can only take so much of Monique and Chris over their place. And you know, I don't like the light that they're shining on them. They're shining a bad light on Monique's daughter. Every time we see Monique's daughter, this little girl is carrying on, and I'm like, I don't want to discuss this little girl. You know what I mean? But this is what you all are showing us. And we always say kids are off limits, but she really has their number in that house. That little girl is out of control. She's out of control. And I'm like, she's over there, and this time we're seeing her hitting adults. I can't stand little kids to hit. Like, what is that? What is that? Stop it. Stop it. She's hitting, and it's her uncle that she's hitting. She's hitting her uncle, and her uncle's telling on her. I'm not telling on her. Spank her fucking ass. Cause see, her hitting you, and you having to tell on her to Chris and Monique, and you actually spend more time with her than Chris and Monique. Cause we see that all the time. He's a fucking nanny. Spank her ass and get your point across. Monique's telling her, you owe him an apology. She wouldn't owe me shit. She wouldn't owe me shit. I'd be owing you an explanation about how I whooped her ass on the elevator. And here we are. That's why she's crying. Not crying because she didn't get her way in the elevator. She didn't beat my ass in the elevator. She's crying because she came in the elevator and carried on, and then she popped me, and her ass got whooped in the elevator, okay? I would definitely have been Solange in the elevator, and she would have been Jay-Z. It would not have been the other way around. I'd have whooped her ass and come out there and tell her mama why she crying. And if her mama had something to say, and her daddy had something to say, I whooped their ass too. The fuck out of here. Little people don't get to run big people. Y'all better get that shit together. Together. That's just ridiculous. But I hate that they're showing this. That's all we've seen for the last 4 weeks. The last 4 weeks, every week, we've seen this little girl in that house carrying the fuck on. And I'm like, you're a cute little thing, but she bad. She bad. And I ain't saying nothing bad about her, dragging her or nothing like that. Kids are off living. But little baby is bad. She bad. And I fought her mama and her daddy. They need to get a hold of her now. Now. The way she acts now, she couldn't make it in a daycare center. Not at all. Not at all. They be telling her, if you don't come and get her, honey, come get her. Now. Not later. Now. I'm telling you, I ran a daycare center. Gotta go. You, ma'am, you gotta go. You're not gonna be in here hitting me, and you're not gonna be in here hitting the other kid. Bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. See you. Monique, come on with your smelling scents and your oils and incense and get your fucking daughter, honey. She's down there fighting again, and ain't nobody going for it, honey. Come and get her now. But anyway, so I hate that they keep showing this, and they showing the little girl running the house, and she's really running the house, serving bad CTs, honey. Anyway, moving on. So we go to this van ride to the airport. Of course, Robin is late and misses the van. They tell her, meet us at the airport, bitch. She run around because for some reason she has this pink dye in her hair. She wants to get it out. You should have gotten it out whatever day you got it done. But that's another story. Anyway, so she just literally, when I say just made the plane before they shut the door. I was like, that's ridiculous. People being late like that. It's ridiculous. Karen, that is the ugliest fucking wig ever to be on screen at Bravo. It's even worse than Nene's damn Oodles and Noodles wig. That wig is horrible. You all seen the thumbnail for this video. That wig is so goddamn ugly. It is so ugly. And then Ray gonna get on the phone after she get to New Orleans and tell her, oh yeah, my African queen. Where you see anybody in Africa with that ugly shit on? You ain't seen the beauties in Africa walking around with that goddamn sideways ass bullshit on their head. That wig is ugly. It is so fucking ugly. I hate it. Oh, yeah. That is so horrible. And then when she turned around, they gonna pan that camera around the back. I said, oh, that is horrible. That is the worst wig to ever have graced a housewife franchise screen on Bravo ever. That motherfucker ugly. That is ugly. Ugly. And not just Bravo. I ain't seen nothing that ugly on Love and Hip Hop. That shit is ugly. Horrible. Moving on. Figures that Karen Huger would have it on. Anyhow, I hate it. Moving on. Ashley was in the van on the way to the airport, already throwing shade. I said, you just old nasty bitch. Old nasty drunk wanting to be pregnant ass motherfucking bitch. They were talking about something completely different. Ashley ain't in the conversation. They're talking about babies and the road to wanting babies and that kind of thing. It was Candace and Monique and Giselle having a conversation. And they're laughing about whatever they're talking about. And Candace said, I'm gonna need some counseling, till I move up to that point about having a baby. Because she said, I don't like other people's kids. Like, I don't like, what do you do? Like, I don't want to be bothered with other people's kids. So I don't know how I would do with having my own kid, And is that wrong? And why do I feel that way? She said, I'm gonna need some counseling. Didn't Ashley jump in there and say, on what, you and your mother? Bitch, ain't nobody talking to you. And how you gonna throw that out? You throwing digs on the slide. And then see, this is the thing. When Ashley does stuff like that, watch her face. Watch her face. Because she always has that nasty little devilish smirk on her face like, got you. No, bitch, you ain't got me. Chopping and took her and banged her head up against one of them windows. She do that little stuff, and I noticed that about her in these last few seasons. Always got that little thing going on after she does these little things. She know exactly what she be doing. But I would really oblige her with a little bit of a knock upside her damn head. Candace didn't appreciate it either. She really didn't. I said, "Girl, get her, honey. She gonna get her later. Watch, because Candace is very much that way. I get tired of her crying all the time, but Candace always will cry and then she will strike later, is what I'm learning about her. And her crying is getting a little bit less. The only thing that she cry about a lot now is Dorothy's ass. But shit, you see, she hung up, or she cyber hung up on Dorothy. I'm waiting to see what she do to Ashley, and I promise you, I'm willing to bet money. She gonna do something to Ashley coming up soon, and I'm gonna be right here for it. I'll be cracking up, little bitch. Anyway, but that went down. Okay, so they go to this Creole cooking class once they, get their first day. They go to a little Creole cooking class, and once they sit down to eat the little stuff that they cooked, Gizelle decided to speak to Karen about what happened at the convention, and Karen got all in her feelings and was giving, because Giselle was like, I just kind of felt some kind of way, like we're supposed to be being friends, and you just kind of, the questions that I gave you, you wouldn't even answer them, and then this woman is a complete stranger, and you spilled your guts, and I just didn't understand that because I thought we were supposed to be like working on our friendship and this, that, and the other, and I didn't feel like Giselle was attacking her. I think she was just putting it on the table and talking to her. And Karen got all upset, honey, and she started into this bad behavior that it was already this. She had this thing going on. I'm gonna be ready. I'm gonna be ready. And that, as she was going into it, so she gets up and she ends up running off. I was like, you ain't doing nothing but deflecting because you were fucked up in that moment. And everybody was kind of looking around like, wow, that was kind of. Really, is that how it went down? And she deflected, so she got up and she walked on out. And that's where we ended. Um, Giselle's not strapped with the ass kisser gene, and neither am I. Neither am I. And again, you can't take away from. And this was in my comments. I seen you guys in my comments last week about this whole thing of Giselle did this and Giselle did that and all of this here and all of that there. Okay, she did. She did. She was deplorable last season. It was awful. But Karen had the space to say, I don't want to fuck with you no more. See, this is where my issue comes in with forgiveness. See, I ain't one for all that forgiveness. When you burn me real good and I don't want to be bothered no more, then I don't want to be bothered no more. Period. Because I feel like, when you forgive people, they don't ever give them a license and a space to do something worse to you next time. Because they already showed you what they really thought of you. That's my feelings. I ain't for the whole forgiveness thing and all that. I ain't for it. Fuck it. We're done. It's done. But the forgiveness with the now you got to kiss my ass on top of it, I can't get with it. I can't get with it. And this is where they're at. Karen wants Gizelle to sit in that space of kissing my ass to be my friend. And it irritates the shit out of me. And I ain't no big Giselle fan at all. And I ain't a Karen fan, period. But yeah, the whole sitting in that pocket and basically, like I said earlier in the show, when she was sitting up there and talking with Candace, and she basically was letting Candace know this is what my behavior is going to be. And I'm grieving, so this is going to be my cover up for my behavior. I ain't here for the shit. I ain't here for it. Giselle's better than me because, yes, you were wrong for what you did. And you're trying to be her friend, but I wouldn't kiss her ass. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't be on no kiss her ass tour. I wouldn't be. I wouldn't be singing them songs. Sorry. Not at all. So we'll see what y'all got to say in the comments this time about it. But I definitely seen and took into consideration what you all we're saying. And no, I wasn't giving Giselle a free pass from what she did. But if you say you're going to forgive, you're supposed to forgive and you let it go. You forgive and you let it go. Not I forgive you and you can be my friend, but you got to kiss my ass until I get satisfied. Mm, mm, mm. That ain't how that works. Nope, I ain't for it. Anyway, I'll talk to y'all. I've talked about this enough. I'll talk to y'all next week. Later.